First of all, good morning to me. Good evening to you. I just had my coffee, so I'm full of energy. I understand, I can only imagine it's the end of your day and you may be a little bit tired. But we have important information to be discussed. I'm going to be very mindful about the time, and I will ask you to please send your questions through the chat box and I will address. And if for some reason there are specific questions about your specific situation, I am happy to follow up with you personally, my friends. So it is a pleasure to virtually connect with you. Thank you for being so flexible and joining us this evening to learn more about how you can maximize your career, your studies in the United States. Okay, my name is Adriana Aguena. I'm the International Partnership Coordinator at UC Davis School of Law in beautiful California. And my goal today is to give you the key information, the key data for you to start your research. Whether you're coming to UC Davis School of Law, whether you're going to another institution in the United States, I would like to share with you important information so you know what questions to ask. So with that said, I'm going to start my presentation and I'm going to go over these slides. And at the end, I have saved time for us to talk about it, to discuss and address any issues, any questions that you might have. Now, so we're going to talk about how to find the best LL.M program for you. The LL.M program, the Master of Law program, it's a very popular program for international lawyers, prosecutors, judges, even law graduates that are looking into expanding their knowledge and perhaps even expand their work experience in the United States. But always starts with your studies. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward with our presentation. I wanted to give you an overview of the kinds of degrees the American law schools offer. So basically, my friend, there are three. We're talking about the Juris Doctor, which is the JD program. This program lasts about 3 years, okay? And you're gonna have classes that are mandatory, so you can sit for the bar exam, and some elective classes, which means that you can pick and choose the class that you have most interested in the areas of the law that you're interested in. Now, the JD degree is basically focused for the domestic American lawyers that want to become lawyers in the United States. So that's the focus of this JD program. And when you are successfully finish your JD program after 3 years, you are eligible to sit for the bar exam. So for example, if you want to be a practitioner, a law practitioner in California, you would sit for California bar exam, right? If you would like to practice in New York, then you would have to sit in the New York bar exam. So the difference between the Juris Doctor, the JD, and the LL.M program, the Master of Laws program, is that number one, the Master of Laws you can complete in 1 year, 2 semesters, or if you would like to extend your time because, perhaps you want to take more classes, you can extend to 2 years, but minimum of 1 year. This is the most popular option among the international folks. The target audience obviously are the international lawyers, practitioners, as I said, law degrees, people that have accomplished their LL.B, the law degrees from their countries. And the idea is to really understand how the judicial system in the United States works. As you might know, in the United States, we have the common law system. It's not the civil law system as in other countries. So there is a difference in how to approach the law. What's the source of the law? So it is something that you're going to be learning, right? The foundation about the US judicial system. One very important difference between the JD program, the JD degree, and the LL.M degree, friends, is that for the JD, you need to pass a test called LSAT, law school admission test. This test is very complex and intense and not impossible, but it's very challenging for the American students and even more challenging for the international students, because we as international students, and I will include myself because I also did an LL.M myself. I have an LL.B in law from Brazil, and I did a Master of Laws in the United States. So I'm speaking from experience as well. So the difference is you don't have to take the LSAT. For the JD, yes, you must take the LSAT. You must have achieved a certain score, so you're eligible for the JD program. Obviously, for the Master of Laws, you do not need to take the LSAT. Okay, you do need to have a TOEFL or IELTS, if you're English proficiency test, because you need to prove that you can understand English, that you can learn, read, that you can speak in English good enough, right, to keep up with the classes. So that's one of the biggest differences between the JD and the LL.M. When you successfully complete your LL.M, whether it's 1 or 2 years, you are eligible to sit for the state bar exam. Of course, that we need to understand whether you're going to be sitting for the California, for New York, for other states. There are many states in the United States, that are 50 states that you can choose from to be sitting for the bar exam. If that's the path, if that's the choice that you're going to go through, because we want to make sure that you take the required classes to qualify to sit for the bar exam of that specific state. Okay, so that's the main difference between those two degrees. This is a very popular question among the international students, and I want to make sure you understand it. All right, now, of course, another option would be the SJD or PhD, very well known. This degree, it's a longer degree because it takes about 3 to 5 years for you to complete your research. So this is more it's geared toward those people that want to do research, that are scholars, that want to come to the university, whatever university that might be, to conduct research. So they are focused on their intellectual and their educational world more than anything else. Okay, so these are the 3 most popular degrees in the United States. The most popular among international students is the Master of Laws, and I will go further into that degree. All right, friends, moving on. So as I mentioned before, you can see on the PowerPoint the map of the United States. We have 50 states, and in the United States, the states have power. So what means for you is that if you want to sit for example, for the California bar exam, then you need to study the laws, the state laws of California. If you want to sit for the New York bar exam, then you need to study the New York state laws in order to be able to understand the differences and be able to master or learn the state law that's also tested in the bar exam. What I'm saying, my friends, is that at the UC Davis School of Law, for example, the first thing that's going to happen if you do come to our program, you're going to meet with our advisors and our dean, who will ask you the following questions. Tell me, please, your goals, personal, professional goals. Do you intend to sit for the bar? In what state would you like to sit for the bar? And how can we customize a program for you? That way, when you finish your LL.M program, you perhaps have an area of specialization that you want to focus on, or maybe you want a general LL.M that will give you the foundation of the US judicial system, okay? So it is important to understand that unlike many other countries, when you have your license to practice law in the United States, just because you have a license in California does not mean that you can practice law in New York. There is no reciprocity, okay? It means that if you are an attorney in New York, you can't practice in California unless you have your license, unless some of the exceptions apply. The bar exam is very challenging, especially for the international students. It's not to say that it's impossible, right? It's not. We happily have had a number of students that have dedicated a lot of time and energy, and they have passed the exam because it's a test, right? It's a complex test, but there's a lot of help. There's a lot of materials and preparatory classes that will help you to best prepare for this exam. Now, the bar exam is a huge topic, and I don't want to, I'm going to have to stop here, but I will leave you with the link on the presentation. You can see a link where you're going to be able to access the comprehensive guide to bar admissions. In that guide that's updated every year, you're going to have information about specific states of the United States. The possibilities, the requirements, so that way you have a specific information about each state, okay? Also, I am happy to share with you more information if you do email me whenever you have the chance, okay? And I will address more about the bar exam. Okay, moving on, my friends. As I said, the steps, the pathway to become a licensed attorney in the United States or in California, for example, everything starts with the education. So the questions that you need to ask yourself is, the first question is education. Will my degree qualify me to sit for the bar exam? If not, what is it that I need to do to complement my studies in order to qualify for the bar exam, right? So for example, if you have a LL.B, right, a degree in law, and provided that you have taken the classes, then with the Master of Laws degree, you are most likely going to qualify to sit for the bar exam. Every case is different. Every case is personal. So that's why we work individually with each student to make sure that we comply with the requirements, okay? As I said, the bar exam, it's very complex, but it's given twice per year, once in February, once in July. So when you finish your LL.M program, if you do come in August, you're going to be graduating in May. The next bar exam would be in July. So you have some time between May and July to prepare for your exam. In the event that you need more time, which is very common, students will take the bar the next February. So there's no limits. You can take as many bar tests as you can. Of course, there is a cost and the time as well to be dedicating to this study. That's very, very intense. Okay, in addition to the bar exam, there are some additional requirements that the bar requires in order for you to fully become a licensed attorney. So there will be a MPRE, which is a multiple choice test, is when a lot of subjects will be tested: contracts, constitutional law, ethics, professional responsibility, etc. So you need to make sure that you pass that exam as well. It's not as intense as the bar exam per se, but it's also important that you fulfill that requirement. The other part of it is the character and fitness. So there's a moral, character, and fitness. It's not a test, but they will check your background to make sure that there's no problems, there's no lawsuits against you, to make sure that the ethics part is on point. And then lastly, some states do require some pro bono work in order for you, after you pass the bar, to be able and be active within the law community. All right. It's very complex, I understand. And again, I'm happy to answer more specific questions about the bar exam. Okay, moving on. Now, you might be thinking, what is it that I need to know in order to really understand how the university in the United States works, and what kind of questions or criteria I should be thinking about when I am doing my research? The first thing I would recommend, guys, is to look at the faculty. Look at the professors' bios. Look at what they have published. Are they internationally and nationally recognized? what kind of areas of laws are their specialties? Okay, why is it important for you to understand the faculty access? Can I have a conversation with my professor after class? Are there office hours? Office hours are very popular in the United States, which means that in some universities, okay, including UC Davis School of Law, after the students are done with the classes, the professors assign certain times and dates where the students have an open door policy. They can come into the professor's office and either discuss a topic or ask questions, right? Or have even a more casual conversation. It is important to be able that the professors are accessible, right? Can I reach my professor via email? Can I reach my professor via Zoom, via WeChat, via WhatsApp? So what is the relationship that you're going to be able to develop with the professors? And remember, not only the professors are going to be your mentors, they are also going to be a good source of network opportunities. My friends, you want to make sure that you are well connected while you're doing your studies. And the reason is you never know where those relationships are going to take you. For example, if you're looking for a job or an internship or externship, there's no better source than your professors who know a lot of people and could possibly assist you in getting what you need. So something to think about it, very important. As I said, one way to look at the professors' bios and information is through the university's website. That's the best resource, I would say. Okay. Now, of course, alumni, the people that have come before you, right? The people have been successful and they will be able to help you as well. So, for example, at UC Davis School of Law, when we have candidates from certain countries, for example, from Kazakhstan, we currently have 2 students from Kazakhstan doing our LL.M program. What we do is to connect the future candidates like you with our students. So you can ask them questions in your language, if that's the case. You can hear their perspective as Kazakhstani students, what are the difficulties, what the challenges, what the benefits are, because I'll tell you, they're not gonna lie, they're gonna tell you their real experience. And to be honest, is a wonderful source for you to understand exactly what you need if you're moving to a new country with your family. You know, what kind of support does the school have, or what else is in the community that will assist you during your program. So what I'm telling you is, when you go to the university's website and you start looking at alumni, meaning the people that have come from you, before you, people from Kazakhstan, students from Kazakhstan, okay? Make sure you have access to them. And if the website does not tell you, please do reach out to the admissions officer. Every website of any university, you're gonna have an email. And you say who you are, introduce yourself and say, I would like to connect with the alumni from Kazakhstan. How do I do that? And they'll help you, my friends. And that's great because, again, you're going to get information firsthand. It is also important to make sure the university has support for international students, not only for American students, international students. Why I'm saying this, folks? International students need special attention. What do I mean by that? You're coming to a new country. You're coming to a different culture. You're speaking a different language, right? We all have accents, including myself, but we're smart. All we need is a little adjustment. So, for example, at UC Davis School of Law, we have the career services that's dedicated only for the LL.M students, specifically, especially for the LL.M students. Why? Because if you needed to put together a resume, right? Some countries, we have the CV, which is the curriculum vitae, which is longer, about 5 pages. You can put your picture, you know, can be more descriptive about your data. But in the United States, friends, resume, 1 page. How can you condense all that information into one page? The career service is going to help you. If you need to go to a network event, how do you talk to other people? How do you socialize? How do you communicate? Do I shake hands? Do I give a hug? Right? I know every country is different because I am also coming from a different country into the American culture. So I had to learn all those details that helped me to be successful and be proper while I was developing my network and also going through interviews. So there's a lot of help out there. You need to make sure, what does the university offer in terms of international students, okay? And obviously, to finish, reputation and rankings are important. There are many sources for you to know. Is this school is known about? Have I heard of this school? Do I know a friend who has been to that school? Because that's important to know the reputation and the ranking, where that school falls into the ranking in the United States. And this you can find at the US News and World Report. This is a very trustworthy source where you can see the rankings of all, or possibly all, universities in the United States. Okay, moving on. How else can I best prepare myself? Well, when we talk about the areas of specialty, okay, something that you need to think about is, do I want an LLM that's general, that will give me the basic and foundation of the United States laws, or do I want to focus on an area of expertise? So, for example, at UC Davis School of Law, because we are located close to the Silicon Valley, San Jose area, where Google and the high technology companies are headquartered, we have a lot of folks that come to learn more about intellectual property, for example. So therefore, their LLM is focused on intellectual property. They take the required class, but everything else, the classes are designed so they can learn more about the intellectual property world. Some students do like the international business or international law. Therefore, we are going to focus their LLM program into that area of law. So that's important for you to research. What are the areas of specialty of that school of law? What are they well known for? What are the big deal in that university, in that school, that you can take advantage of? Again, am I going to sit for the bar? If so, what kind of support does the School of Law offer? Am I going to be taking classes with the JD, the American Law students? And one thing I would like to emphasize, friends, is that, for example, at UC Davis School of Law, our LLM students that come from all over the world, they take classes with the JD American students. Why is it important? Think about it. You're here in the United States to not only learn the law, but also to improve your English skills, right? When you're speaking and learning law, not only are learning English or practicing English, you are learning legal English. It's another language. So to be able to be trained with the American lawyers to be, like you, it's a privilege. You want to understand how lawyers are trained in the United States because you understand how they think, how their logical, rational thinking process is. Because if you are in the future having a dispute, an international dispute, or working an international contract, you want to make sure that you know what the other lawyer is thinking, the rationale, right? Because then you can have better argumentation. You can anticipate the arguments that that lawyer might use, so you can be best prepared. So not only that, something that's important is you are socializing, you are making friends, and you are practicing your English, you are being part of the culture. And that's why you're here, right? To also learn how to, experience the culture and how to best maximize your experience. And there is no better way than learning from the locals, learning from people from the United States. And at first, it may be a little intimidating because you may be insecure, which is very normal when you first arrive. You don't know exactly what's going on. You're still making friends. But I promise you, my friends, from my personal experience, it's one of the best opportunities that you have to interact with people that are like-minded, that are intelligent, and that you can exchange information with. Okay? All right. So moving on, there's a lot of to talk about, but I'm going to focus on the most special areas. And again, opening up the space for you to ask questions. Okay, so let's talk about life in the United States, student life on campus, and the most important things that you need to consider. Okay, so when you were thinking about coming to the United States, and you're looking at the university's website or doing your research on Google, whatever that might be, think about, where am I going to be living? Am I going to be living on campus, off campus? Am I bringing my family with me? Is the city or town that I'm going to be living in safe, right? Do I need to have a car? Or can I ride a bicycle? Or what are the other options of transportation? How expensive it is, right? What is the distance? So for example, at UC Davis School of Law, and I'll show you more later in one of our slides, you are coming to it's called a college town. So it's not a big city like Almaty. It's smaller. It's more welcoming, right? So people are safe. They can walk around. They ride their bicycle to and from the school. Okay, it's a family-friendly oriented small town. So that's the vibe that you get there. So people that are students that are coming to study and to live within the community. So it's a different experience versus you can go to a big city. For example, in California, we have Los Angeles or San Francisco. But remember, folks, if you're living in a big city, it's going to be more expensive for sure, right? You are probably going to be needing a car and insurance and gas and parking, all those things added up. So that's something that you need to consider as well in order to have a budget, in order to have an estimate of how much you're going to be spending per month. Okay, so lifestyle. Does the law school or the university offer, a club where you can practice some sports, right? What else is it that you can appreciate and be safe while you're studying? It is important. After all, you're going to be spending 1 or 2 years away from your home, and you want to make sure that you are safe, that you are respected, that you are welcomed, and most importantly, that you have the resources to enjoy your time while you're studying. Okay, moving on to the next slide, my friends. Money. Very, very, very important, right? I understand that maybe some of you do qualify to the Bulashog scholarship, and I don't know that. I'm just saying because I have been to Kazakhstan myself last year, and I went and visited some of the agencies of the Bulashog in Nur Sultan. I have not yet gone to Almaty, which I do hope once we can start traveling internationally that I can visit our friends and perhaps meet you in person. That would be lovely. But when talking about finances, if you are or qualify for the Bulashog scholarship, or if you do not, don't worry about. Let's talk about the options, okay? It is important to understand, number one, whether the university, the law school that you're going to offers any kind of support, whether it's a small percentage, whether the university also has any connection with another institution. So that way you maximize, right, your time, and you're also know exactly what kind of, how much money you're going to be needing to stay during that time in the United States. Now, it always starts within your own country, right? So look around, see what else you can try to find. I'm sure the Education USA Almaty, the advisors are ready to help you. They are wonderful, they are very knowledgeable, and they're here to assist you. So I'm sure they can share with you more detailed information on the sources within Kazakhstan. uh, but if you also want to explore and give an example, an idea as to how much would cost for you to do an LLM in the United States, I highly suggest that you look into our website, for example, just to give you an idea, just to get you started. I urge you to click on that, the law school, UC School of Law. We have listed the cost of tuition and what is there any extra cost, what you need to consider. So that way, my friends, it's easier for you to have a budget, okay? So I ask you, please, go to our website. You can and you should be looking to the other law schools, but just as an example, you can start with our website to give you an idea what to ask, what you're looking for. Do you need insurance? What kind of insurance, right? So all those things may add to your budget, and that's a very important piece for you to be able to plan your studies in the United States, okay? All right, moving on. This is really, really interesting. And I like this topic because it's talking about the students in the classroom. As you can see, here we are obviously showing a picture of the UC Davis School of Law. You see all the students. Some students have computers, some students, they have just, a regular notebook to take notes. And the most important difference between probably the United States and other countries is that the United States use the Socratic method. Socrates, the philosopher, right? The idea is to have that dialogue, that discussion between the students and the professors. So, unlike many other universities in different states, in different parts of the world, in America, you have to prepare for your classes. The professors will give you an assignment to read this many pages. So when you come to class, you already know what the professor will be talking about. And the professor calls on the students to see, to hear, to understanding their opinion about a certain case, their opinion about a specific reading. Now, the advantage of it is, again, not only you're going to be taking classes with the American students, you're going to be listening, understanding, checking their vocabulary, the way they, present themselves, right? Like as if they are in court, for example. But also, friends, it is important to hear the student's perspective. Not everybody has the same understanding. Not everybody has the same opinion. So by using the Socratic method, the students have the ability to interact with each other. So it's like a dialogue versus one person talking, who is the professor. There is no such a thing. They have that interaction with the students. Now, I have to say it is challenging for some of our international students to feel comfortable at first because you may be insecure at first, right? You have an accent, you just arrived from Kazakhstan, you are in class, you don't know many people, you are sweating, you are nervous. Normal. It's normal. It's part of the process. But little by little, the students take the advantage to speak up, right? To say their mind because we know you guys are intelligent. And the American students appreciate to have that international spin, that international perspective that they don't have. So you bring a lot of knowledge to the classroom, and the other students want to hear from you as well. And my friends, if there is a place to make mistakes, the classroom is the place, right? The classroom is the place for you to practice, to be good at it, because the professors are there to help you, to mentor you, to guide you. So it's better to do that in the classroom than in the courtroom, or when you are negotiating a contract, or when you're working, right? So we encourage our students to be part of it, okay? Now, Another aspect that we do advise our students that if you are doing your LL.M program, we ask the students not to attempt to work at the same time. Why? Because the LL.M program is very rigorous. It's very complex at first. You're going to have a lot of subjects to be studying, and you are transitioning into a new culture, into a new judicial system. So there are cases where students manage to work part-time within campus, but we do not recommend at first, okay? Unless you really need, unless there are other factors that will take into place where we need to consider time and where your attention is being divided, because you're coming to the United States to study in the first place. Okay, moving on, my friends. I have listed here a number of resources that you can use in order to find out more information about the potential law schools candidates, right, that you are considering to study at. Well, LLMguide.com is an amazing source. You're going to see the rankings, the reputation, the areas of law, how much it would cost to come to the United States and obtain an LL.M program. Another one that I will, of course, all the social media platforms are available, but the most important resource I would say is the Education USA offices. As you know, Roshan is here with us today and her team. Please do take advantage of these wonderful people, professionals. They are knowledgeable. They are here to help you. They are looking for the best interest of your studies. So these are the people that have the knowledge, they have the resources, and they can connect you and share with you important information. So do not take lightly. Use the benefits of these wonderful people that are there to assist you. In fact, I'm so grateful that they opened up the opportunity for UC Davis School of Law to be talking to you today. So I'm very grateful for them. Don't forget, they are one of your best sources. Okay, my friends, moving on. Now, we talked generally, broadly about the United States. I will now focus some slides or some information about California, because that's where I am now, and that's where the UC Davis School of Law is located, okay? So these are information more specific about California, but again, I do invite you to send your question through the chat box, and I will address a specific question. All right, so if you haven't been to California yet, I invite you to come and see our beautiful state. I say that I'm an international, I'm the citizen of the world because I travel, I do international recruiting. So I am myself, coming from Brazil, and I can basically live in anywhere in the United States. And I'm biased because I did choose California to be my home country, right? My home state. And the reason is, my friends, for me, I wanted to pick a state that's number one, safe, a state that's diverse, a state that can welcome me. It doesn't matter the color of my skin, my religion, my accent, my culture. I wanted to make sure that the state supports my diversity and welcomes diversity. So for me, California was the state that really welcomed me, not only to mention the beautiful weather. I love the Mediterranean weather in California. So this is the state that I decided to live in, that I am grateful that has welcomed me and has provided me with many opportunities for work. Now, where is UC Davis located? If you look at the presentation, you're going to see the blue star says UC Davis. That's the city of Davis, and that's where we are located. Now, if you look as well in the map, you're going to see the city of Sacramento. Sacramento is the capital of California, my friends. And the importance is that when you are living close to the capital, we are about 20 minutes by car. from Sacramento is that you are really close to the capital. And the importance is that you're going to be able to go to the courts. The court systems is located in Sacramento. We take our students to field trips where they attend hearings in the courtroom, so they understand how the laws are made. They understand how the judges, right, put into practice the laws that are made in California, in Sacramento. All the lobbyists, all the legislators are located in Sacramento. Okay, of course, not only that, there is the cultural aspect. We are super close to San Francisco. We're about a 2-hour drive, or you can take a train. San Francisco being this metropolitan, beautiful city, you can see the picture of the Golden Gate Bridge that you can go for a day trip and experience the city life, the metropolitan lifestyle, while you're still studying in Davis. We also have obviously 1-hour flight to Los Angeles, beautiful Los Angeles, if you want to also explore LA, right? There are other options. If you like wine, you can go to Napa Valley, you can go to Yosemite Park. You know, Americans love doing hiking and being in touch with nature. So if you are located in a central area, you can travel around, right? Within a day trip. You can do that on the weekend or while you're on vacation. Getting to know a little bit of the state where you're living is part of your cultural experience, okay? So something that I want to point it out is that in Davis, we have about 36,000 students. Remember, it's a college town. A lot of students coming from all over the world doing their graduate and their undergraduate degrees. Okay, and we have approximately 500 law students at the law school. That's where I work. That's where UC Davis is located. So 500, it's not a big number. It's not small. It's kind of like in the middle. It's because we want to make sure that we give a customized attention to our students. All right, more on that. Okay, let me talk very briefly about the city of Davis. I've already shared with you some information, but what I wanted to point it out is that it's small town, safe, friendly. Believe me, I'm sure your parents are going to feel much better when they know that you're going to be in a friendly, smaller town, but you also have access to the big cities on the weekends or whenever you have the opportunity to travel, okay? Davis is the bicycle capital of the United States. It means that virtually everyone rides a bicycle to and from campus because it's so beautiful. You know, there is the Arboretum. You can see a picture of the trees. We have a creek that goes through our campus. UC Davis has the biggest campus within the UC system. So our students, they enjoy, they save money, they have a bicycle, they go here and there. They don't have to buy a car if they don't want to. They can if they want, but it's not mandatory. They enjoy nature. They enjoy the climate. They enjoy being outside, right? It's sunny. It's beautiful. It's warm, you know? So you can understand like what are the other options and the advantage of being in a smaller town like Davis, okay? Now, moving on. The important information specific about your LLM at UC Davis School of Law, my friends, is that in summary, you need to pick, do I want to do a general LLM program to give me the basic foundation for the law in the United States, or do I want to have an area of law? If I want to specialize in an area of law, what would that be? Is it commercial law? Is it contracts? Is it business? Environmental law, intellectual property. There is so many areas of law, my friends. You need to be able to know that information before you come, because that way we can, remember, customize. That's the key word, friends. Customized program. You do not want to go into an LLM program that is one program for everybody, because everybody's different, right? Your interest may not be somebody else's interest. So make sure that there is a customization. And that's what we offer at UC Davis School of Law, okay? You can start your program in August, which is the fall the fall, what is the word that I'm looking for? The fall semester, or you can start in January, which it doesn't make any difference. Okay, the study schedule is the same. It's just a different time to study your LLM program, right? It depends on whenever you're ready to come. So either in August, the fall semester, or the spring semester, which is in January. Okay. As I said, you're going to learn more about the bar preparation options that UC Davis School of Law offers to all students who would like to go down that path and become a licensed attorney in California. Now, as I said, you can have areas of specialty. These are the most common areas that UC Davis School of Law offers to our LLM students. So you can see a list of the popular areas of specialties. And there are many, many more. It all depends on you and your interests, all right? Okay. So I've gone through some of these items, but I do want to emphasize that it is important to have the support that you need to be successful. Remember, when you are successful, the law school is successful. So your success is our success. We want to make sure that you have all the resources needed for you to be successful in your studies, in your career. Therefore, it is important to take advantage of all the resources that are available for, and specifically and especially for, international students. International students have different needs that the domestic students have, right? Not only the language, but the assistance with the transition. So for example, at UC Davis School of Law, we have a psychologist for our LLM students. And why is that? The reason is, my friend, because you're sometimes away from home, and maybe you miss home, maybe you are under pressure. There's a lot of newness in the beginning, right? When you are learning how to really learn the system, really learning to be in the community. So we have this resource. And we also have yoga classes, meditation classes for our students. Again, just to make sure that you keep a normal life while you're studying so hard. Right? So these are extra bonus activities that the UC Davis School of Law offers for the international students. Make sure that you know what the university or the law school offers, the one that you're going to be going to. Okay? What else? What else that we need? As I said, the career services are there for you. They are composed by former lawyers that are going to help you to draft a resume if you're applying for a job, or OPT, which is the optional practice training, practical training. They're going to help you how to go through an interview. You're going to practice, because remember, friends, in America, it's a different way to communicate. You know, they are more direct. You're going to shake hands. You're not going to be hugging people like I used to do in the past. So those little things that you probably don't know about it because they're coming from a different culture, you're going to learn, and they're going to teach you. Right? We also have more than 50 law students organizations that you can be part of. I am excited about it because, you know, myself from Latin America, they have the Latin America students, they have the Bar Association students, they have the Black law students, they have the Christians, they have the Muslim. So there are so many organizations that you can be part of. They are law organizations, which means that they probably have articles or journals they are going to be writing. They host cultural activities that you can be part of. So it's about studying, but it's also about to have some fun and also enjoy the culture in the United States while you're staying connected with your own roots. All right. So as I said, just to finish this part here, you can see a picture of our students. We took them to the legislature. That's where they make the laws in California. It's a very interesting process. You can also see that our friends and students go to the Sacramento Superior Court. We are very close to Sacramento, as I said. So sometimes they take them to visit the prisons, the jails, if that's, you know, of interest for some of them. So exposure is everything. The more you see, the more you listen, the more you hear, the better it is for you to be able to connect the law, which is the theoretical level, into practice. So that's the beauty about being able to go into the field trip. And it's super fun as well. So that's something to consider too. Another resource that I would say that is helpful for some of the students is if you do come to do your LLM in August, you have the option, not mandatory, it's an option, to attend some of our summer programs. They are pre-LLM programs that best prepare you to start your LLM. Again, it's elective, you don't have to. But the students that come a little early, either June or July, they do take those classes. The first one is called English for Legal Professionals, which means that you have 2 weeks in late June, beginning of July, and it's legal English. So if you think that your English is not that good or you need to refresh, that's a good, very fast, just 2 weeks to go and learn more about the vocabulary, how you pronounce the words, the legal language that you're going to be using in your LLM. So we heard from our students that it has been very helpful. You don't have to, it's just an option. Another very popular option, excuse me, among our students is the orientation in US law. It's a 4-week course where you're going to learn a previews of how it is that the law is made, what are the court systems in the United States, how to do an oral argumentation, the vocabulary. So this is the basic foundation of the US law in the United States. It's a 4-week class that you're gonna take before you take your LLM program. Again, you don't have to, but we hear from our students that those classes best prepare you for your LLM. So you start your LLM program with more confidence, with more knowledge. Again, it's an option. All right. Now, we are going towards the end of my presentation here. And as I said, I'm going to be leaving time for questions, if there is any. Important, student life on campus, right? We talk about how it is important to be able to have some fun, have some cultural experience while you're studying. So for example, here at the UC Davis School of Law, because we were primarily agricultural, you're gonna see a lot of animals in our campus. It's a huge campus. Sometimes I still get lost because it's really big. And there are so many components. You're gonna be able to participate in the so-called American football games. There's like a lot of swimming pools because we have such a beautiful weather. We have the recreational center for sports and classes and Zumba and tennis, you name it, right? There are a lot of sports that can be practiced. We also have campus basketball and soccer fields and other activities outdoors. So options for you. And in your case, if you're bringing your family or if your family is coming to visit you at some point, it is a beautiful, safe, and nice place to be hanging out. Okay. All right, my friends. So what I would like to leave this last slide with you is my contact information. You can reach me personally through the email, through our website, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter accounts, okay? If there is any question that I haven't been able to provide you with the answer, or if there is specific question about your own case, because everybody's different, I'm happy and I will follow up with you. My goal is that you can find the best LLM program for you. Remember, your need is different from other students. You are unique. So with that said, I'm open up questions and some questions that I'll be answering now. I'm going to check here the chat box to see if there are any questions. And if you don't have any questions right now, but you think of a question later, please do reach out to us. I will be more than happy to provide you with the information that you need. It's a big decision. It's a big investment of time, of money, but it's worthwhile. right? I understand, and from experience, I can tell you that knowledge, that education can only enhance your possibilities of growth, personally, professionally. So I take it seriously. It is my passion, it is my mission to help you to best find what is right for you. All right, with that said, my friends, let's see if we have any questions on our uh, chat box. So I see that our friend, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. You said you have a question. So if you can please send me your question, I will definitely answer right now. Meanwhile, while we are waiting for our friend to send her question, and I want to make sure that I respect her time, I want to say that one of the popular questions that students ask us is about the orientation before the LLM program starts. So at UC Davis School of Law, for example, you have a 3-day orientation. Yes. What does that mean? That they're going to teach you everything you need to know in order to be successful during your LLM program. So, for example, where do you go to get your ID card? Where is the computer lab? Can I rent, buy a bicycle? Where do I go? Where is the supermarket? Where are the restrooms in the law school? So you're going to have a tour of the campus. You're going to have a tour of the law school. You're going to learn some our staff. Therefore, there will be a lot of preparation before you start your LLM program. Okay, so I have a first question here. I'm going to address it. Thank you, my friend, and I'm sorry I don't know how to pronounce your name. Please forgive me. But your question is about groups. So does your college provide a special groups for international students? I'm not sure exactly what kind of groups you're referring to, but I can say that UC Davis School of Law has law students organizations. So these are a group of students, law students, that have come together to create clubs, organizations. So I gave an example of the Muslim women. There is a Muslim study group, okay? And I'm just giving you an example, not based on religion, but based on what we have available in our campus. We have also the soccer club, right? We have also the bar association club. We have also the international law club. So these clubs are created by law students that get together a certain time and day, and they talk about important matters. They host activities. They host events so they can invite other students to participate. Sometimes they pray together. So it depends on what kind of club you're going to be joining. If you want to, it's not mandatory. You're going to be part of a selective of group that will be sharing the same interests that you have. So not only are you going to be learning more about them, you're going to be part of a society, part of a club that is very interesting, that has ideas, that's a safe place for you to share your idea, your religion, your belief, and it's a safe place and it's welcomed. Okay, I hope, my friend, I was able to answer your question. If not, send another one. Okay, more questions. I'm excited. Thank you for being so engaging. Thank you for participating, for listening. And let's see. Another question. Does UC Davis Law School offer 2-year JD program? I have an LL.M degree from the University of Missouri. Do I still need to pass the LSAT? Good question, my friend. Thank you so much. Okay, so here are the options, okay, at UC Davis. The JD program lasts for 3 years. That's the rule. In 3 years, you're going to learn all the subjects that are required to sit for the bar exam, right? Now, so it is a 3-year program. If you have an LL.M from the University of Missouri and you would like to come to the JD program at UC Davis, you would have to fulfill the requirements. The requirements are basically the class that you have taken as an LL.M. So it's case by case, and we would need to see your transcripts because I need to look at the classes you took at the University of Missouri to see if those classes correspond to the JD curriculum. That way you can transfer. If you are eligible, you do not need to sit for the LSAT, the Law School Admission Test. You do not. Okay, the first year of LL.M will waive your way to the JD. Then you can complete the 2 years, right? Because there are 3. The 2 years, you already did the 1 LL.M. So then you can do a 2-year JD and finish with the JD program. What I'm saying, my friend, because it's a very specific question, depending on the classes that you have taken, I would like to invite you to send me a quick email saying, these are my classes, this is my plans. I would like to see if I can qualify to go into the JD program at UC Davis. It's very simple for us to check your credentials. It's not simple for me to give you an answer because I don't have a transcripts right now. But do please reach out to me, and I'm happy to at least give you an answer with more information. Okay, thank you. That's a very, very good question. Okay, thank you, thank you. Is the student eligible for LL.M with a BA in political science? Another great question. We have had a number of students that do not have a law degree, LL.B in law. However, they have taken law classes. Some of them have worked overseas or have worked in the law field that are equivalent. So the first answer is yes, most likely yes, provided that I can see your transcript, because the political science has a lot of crossover with law. So I ask you, my friend, please, Diaz, if you can please send us your transcript, the class that you have taken in political science. I will look the equivalency to the law, and I can tell you right away whether you qualify for the LL.M or if you need to take any other extra class to be able to qualify for the LL.M. Most of cases qualify because they have an equivalency in their experience or their prior degree that's not law, but it's law related, that we can consider for the LL.M. Okay, so the easiest way, the fastest way is just to email us a quick question, something very simple, and say, this is what I've taken, this is my degree, this is what I would like to do. Do I qualify? And we are going to follow up with you, my friend. Thank you. That's a very good question. Thank you, my friends. So again, every case is very specific. I know that we are right on time. I am enjoying our communication. I think we have another question here that I want to address before we finish, okay? Can you tell, please, if a student have a bachelor degree in petroleum engineering? That sounds very sophisticated, my friend. Can you give a degree in law without knowledge in law? Okay, my friend, in petroleum engineering, it sounds very interesting topic. I don't know for how long you worked on the engineering degree. If you have taken any law class, or if you have worked in some aspect of the law within the petroleum engineering degree, most likely you qualify. Again, just because I do not have the ability to give you a certain answer without looking at your transcripts, I would like to recommend you, please, to send me through my email a quick email saying, hey, this is my transcript, okay? These are the class that I have taken. Do I qualify? This is also my, perhaps your CV, so I can see your work experience. The reason is I want to make sure that I can match the equivalency of your transcripts with our requirements for the law, right? That way I know where you are, where you need to be, and we can give you a certain answer. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to give you an answer, straight answer, but I am opening up the opportunity for you to send me your information so I can give you a certain answer and we can go from there. Okay, but I have to say petroleum engineer sounds very interesting to me. I am not familiar with the topic, but sounds very sophisticated and very up to date nowadays. Okay, my friends, it's 8 o'clock my time, so it's good morning to me. I think it's already 9 o'clock p.m. your time, I believe. I want just to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being a great audience and communicating with me. One more time, I am available to assist you the best way I can, whether you come to UC Davis School of Law, whether you go to somewhere else. I would like for you to reach out so I can kind of guide you to your success. Again, if I can be any help of you, I will. I will. I will. So, Roshan, I believe that I think we are done with the questions right now. I just want to make sure that we are all clear before I say my final goodbye to our friends.
Yeah, I think we're done with questions, or we can ask them. Guys, do you have any questions that you want Adriana to answer? Maybe you want to hear something about like differences between LLM and JD. Maybe you need to see that amazing slide with all the resources. Okay, everything is clear. This
Okay.
is amazing.
That's an easy audience. Oh, maybe we have another one. Let me see. No questions right now.
Yeah, they write that it's clear and no questions. Thank you
Okay.
for the webinar. It was really amazing and really no questions left. And thank you everyone for joining us today. It's late, but it's great that you had a chance and you found time. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, and I hope to contact with you very soon. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you, Roshan, for your amazing work and for your team as well. We are very appreciative. So all my love all the way from California to my friends in Kazakhstan.